405 northbound in Sun Valley at Sheldon. You'll see a crash that has the carpool and left lane shut down. Your drive is jammed from Hollywood Way. Multi-car wreck on the 405 heading northbound in Troy.
1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Doggy Dogg and Dr. Dre is at that dope, ready to make an entrance. So back on good.
And you'll see it backed up to about Vermont Avenue. 405 northbound in Irvine just before Culver. A crash has taken away the left lane. You're slowly crawling from Irvine Center Drive.
Need an accident attorney by your side. All you got to do is call the accident guys.
Injured in a car accident or at work? Call the accident guys. Because unlike other firms, an attorney will negotiate your case, not a paralegal.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
UCLA is the only Pac-12 school in the top 10 of this week's AP men's college basketball rankings. The Bruins are ranked 8th. The top 5, North Carolina, Gonzaga, Houston, Kentucky, and Baylor. The Bruins are in action tonight at home against Norfolk State. The HBCU school is a member of the MEAC Conference. Other HBCU members of the MEAC: Howard, Delaware State, Morgan State, South Carolina State, Coppin State, North Carolina Central, and Maryland Eastern Shore. The Clippers are at Houston tonight. Kawhi Leonard and John Wall will be sitting out. The Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL's last remaining undefeated team, are on Monday Night Football tonight. The 8-0 Eagles are at home against Washington. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
When you're the victim of a car accident, hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for your free consultation.
Call on me, your MVP.
Is the pen mightier than the sword?
They say the pen is mightier than the sword. At KBLA Talk 1580, we not only have a lot to talk about, we have a lot to write about. Politics, relationships, business, empowerment, and culture. The all-star roster at KBLA Talk 1580 has you covered.
Hey guys, here.
Be sure to follow us on all our socials for our latest book releases, op-eds, essays, and commentaries from our hosts. And, of course, download the KBLA 1580 app as we strive to remain your most trusted, credible, and reliable source for the issues you care about.
Let me know y'all can hear.
Is unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. What up, baby?
Hey, so I'm calling your show, 'cause I need to know. Show me which way to go before I throw my man out the door.
Okay, hold on a second, Keisha. Just let me ask Ronald exactly what's going on, because it takes two to tango, and I need to hear his side of the story.
So she's driving me insane. Love stress heavy on my brain. She keeps playing silly games. Man, I'm about to bring the pain. We seem to fuss and fight every day and every night. Please give some advice so we can see the light. See the light.
Served first gatekeeper, find a path leader. He's a fighter, shapeshifter, and he'll protect your home with the eyes in the front and the back of the head to chase away evil forces. He can eat it instead, so long as you bring the offerings. He's got the ashe I can't deny. I am a witness, I'll testify. This song, my oriki, my sacrifice to the one who can do signs your parents may be emotionally immature. Number 1, they're insensitive to your feelings. Do your parents refuse to put effort into understanding you and seeing things from your point of view? Instead of being considerate and empathetic, your parents don't seem to care about your feelings at all. They don't think about how their words or actions might affect you, or how it might make you feel. They expect you to be grateful and go along with everything they want, because they say it's for your own good. Number 2, they take their problems out on you. Do you find yourself walking on eggshells around your parents when they've had a bad day? Instead of being calm, rational, and level-headed, your parents are defensive, easily flustered, and they lose their temper a lot. They don't know how to keep their feelings in check, so they take their anger and frustration out on you. Parents who are emotionally mature know how to control their feelings, rather than letting their feelings control them. 3, they demand too much from you. Do your parents make you feel like nothing you do will ever be enough for them? They set impossible goals for you, and then make you feel guilty for failing to live up to their unrealistically high expectations. Parents who are emotionally mature, on the other hand, understand that it's the effort and not the outcome that matters. You don't need to be the smartest, most athletic, or most accomplished to make them proud. Number 4, they're quick to point fingers. Do your parents blame you for everything? A mark of emotional maturity is when you learn to hold yourself accountable and to take responsibility for your actions. So, if your parents always pin the blame on others when things go wrong, it's a sign that they may be emotionally immature. You'll never hear them say, "It's my fault," or "I know I made a mistake," because in their eyes, they can do no wrong. Number 5, they're not aware of their own flaws. Do your parents think they're always right and that you should always listen to them? They may be judgmental, closed-minded, and unaware of their own shortcomings. Those who are emotionally immature fail to see that they could be wrong sometimes, or that they might not know everything. Because of this, they instill a lot of self-doubt and feelings of dependency in their children.
Man, oh Manischewitz, it's Monday. You know what it is. The voice of reason is back in the building live on KBLA Talk 1580. We've got to have this discussion. We've got to have it. I like having tough discussions. When mom and dad are toxic groomers. See, you've heard me use the term groomers outside of the normal context in which it's used. I say when people put their best foot forward, when people perform in relationships in order to get a desired outcome. In a way, they're grooming that potential significant other to open up. Well, parents do the same thing. They groom their children. They raise their children in a certain way. And if a parent hasn't dealt with themselves, what's wrong with them, right? What they need to work on internally. Shadow work, unhealed trauma, lack of communication, lack of empathy, controlling. If a parent hasn't worked on any of that, they are in effect grooming their children or any child that is in their care being raised by them. When mom and dad are toxic groomers, what are the damaging effects of petty parenting on children? A deeper look at what happens to children when parents just can't let it go. Oh, gosh. Aren't you tired of... Didn't you see that video? There was a video on Instagram. Somebody sent it to me of... I don't know if this was an uncle or a father. I don't know. But it was a little boy, and he was giving him a joint, a blunt to smoke. That is toxic parenting at its finest. How do you deal with a petty co-parent? Somebody who's just salty that you moved on. So they're going to try to block you from seeing your kid and create all type of weird, strange narratives and really share those narratives with the child, thus grooming the child. When we come forward, the phone lines will be open. The number to dial is 1-800-920-1580. Call me, call me, call me. Were you raised by a toxic parent? Are you toxic and are raising children now? We've got a lot to talk about.
Reasons. The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason on KBLA Talk 1580.
What up, y'all?
KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all the businesses that tune into KBLA.
Got two kids that turned on their mom. You better call in. If you don't call in and share that mother... What? Share that story. Come on, man. We 20 likes below. Let's get up. Let's get the likes up. Let's go.
We know you are just like our staff, putting in many...
Hey, support goal is at 150. Can we do it? I believe in you. Do you believe in me? Do you believe in this platform? Let's go. Twos and Fuse crew. Represent.
Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA 1580 to enter your office today to become the...
Get to your phone lines. Share your story. Share your testimony.
Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action.
Nah, man, you good. You call in. You talk to us, man. WDMA, Warrior, call in here.
The California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years, proudly serving the South Los Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years. The California Crusader is a multicultural black
no cussing
newspaper that focuses on providing news.
No cussing.
We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers. We provide
Twos and Fuse crew represent.
Reasonable and affordable advertising rates.
Let's hit our goal tonight, please.
Suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper community share Facebook group page, or visit
Twos
our
and
website
Fuse. Let's go.
Cruise-news.com. That's calcruisenews.com. Then click on the Submit Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to 42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to...
Twos and Fuse crew. Let's go, let's go.
Did you know fixing outdoor leaks can save 20?
Yes, sir. Brother Ronan sets it off. $10. Let's go.
Conserving water starts with a few simple water-saving actions at home and in your yard, like adjusting your sprinklers and adding drip irrigation so you water only where it's needed. We can all do our part to conserve water. Visit SaveOurWater.com for more water-saving tips. Save water, save California.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier. That's why we created My Social Security. A My Social Security account allows you to access your earnings history and benefits information, request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and
Come on. Hey, somebody just dropped a 5 spot. Let me go back and see who that was.
/my account.
WEP,
Securing today.
the boy. We appreciate it. Just a little support. Hey, a little goes a long way. Thank you, bruh.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, my playlist is my co-host. Y'all know who that is. Legendary Curtis Mayfield. Move on up. It's hard to move on up when you don't know you've been downtrodden emotionally, psychologically. See, when you have a child, it really stops being about you. It starts being about the child all the time. And part of being a good parent is being a warrior. And not just for the sake of protecting the child, One of the greatest adversaries a good parent has to protect their child from is the unfinished work they have within themselves. Because if you expose the unfinished work to the child is malleable, pliable. The child is a human recorder, right? The babies are recording all of the biofeedback. And yes, they grow to love all of you, even the darkness in you. But are you familiar with children growing up and really rebelling it and rebuking their parents once they come into consciousness? Like, you did this, and this wasn't cool. You put me down. You marginalized me. You marginalized my daddy. You marginalized my mother. I was talking to a brother just a couple of hours ago, and the brother was talking about how he was raised by petty parents. And what he said was, when he was 16 years old, his father was calling his mother all types of B's, and he asked him a question. He asked his father a question. He said, "Dad, brother, could I call your mama a B?" He said, "Why would you want to call your grandmother a B, son?" He said, put yourself in my shoes. You are sitting here calling my mother a B. Now, no, they listen. They had a relationship that was contentious the whole time, right? They were in contempt of one another. Aren't you tired of seeing people, because don't act like we ain't seen it, we've all seen it, parents using the child as a human shield? You're going to make everything about the child, really, even when it's really about you. The narcissistic parent. If they can't get what they want, they use the child as a justification for not being with the other parent, or for not participating with the other parent's extended family. Oh yeah, that happens, What about confiding in the child? Listen, me and your mama's business is not the child's business. Why would you confide in the child? Why would you share intimate details with the child? Why would you badmouth a parent? Why would listen, anything you do in front of that child is being recorded. And if you guys are having an issue, that is a manifestation of conflict. Now, they already know that conflict cannot be banished forever or completely. So with that being said, you're teaching them how to deal with conflict. So when there's a conflict and you start bad-mouthing the other parent in front of the child is modeling that behavior as a tactic for conflict management. Okay, when something arises, I'm a badmouth because that's what I saw. Or when the child is observing, wait a minute, is dad not calling? Yeah, your dad's not calling. When in fact, he might be calling. Right? Limiting contact, alienating a parent. Interfering with communication. Now see, listen, don't get all sensitive. I'm not just talking from woman to man. All the issues I present on this show are bi-directional. Man to woman, woman to man. This is a fair platform. But we live in such a sensitive, goofy society. If you mention it one way, they're going to assume that that's the way it is. And that's what you talk about. No. Let me preface by introducing you to a word I like to use. Some but all. Some but not all. Some mothers do this. Some fathers do this. Every topic we present on this show is bi-directional. So no one is being exclusively blamed for being a bad parent. There's bad daddies and there's bad mamas. If you was raised by either one, you can call me, 1-800-920-1580. Oh, man. Some parents be so at the other parent that they will start withdrawing love, withdrawing empathy. We already know that when you're dealing with parental alienation, you might encounter a campaign of denigration to the child. One parent talking to the child about stuff that ain't their business. It's grown folk stuff, remember? You gonna go on a whole campaign denigrating that child's other parent. Then you have weak, frivolous, and absurd rationalizations, a lack of ambivalence. You're going to need balance. Start black and white thinking in front of the child. Oh, God. An absence of guilt. You don't care. You don't care if it hurts the child. That's what I'm saying. You don't get a Mother's Day card or a Father's Day card if you're acting this way in front of your child. We got a lot of petty parents out there who are more focused on what they wanted out of a broken relationship than the gift that came from the broken relationship. The gift of the child could actually help transform the relationship. It might not be what you wanted, but it may be better than what you had that produced the child, if you made the child the number one focus. 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone line. Get to your phone line. I want to talk to you all. I want to talk to everybody tonight. Are you dealing with this? Have you dealt with this? Let's talk about it. Can an emotionally immature parent be unconscious of their grooming and molding of the child? Can they be just unconscious? 1-800-920-1580. Let's get to the phone lines right now. Richie Rich, Pasadena. Talk to me.
Big Joe, what's the deal, man? Man, it's a lot. It's a whole lot. What I always try to stress the importance is, you know, as men, don't let the situation run you from being there. Just the presence of the father being in the home in close proximity to the child is, you can't even put a price on it. You know what I'm saying? And yes, from a woman's perspective, you know, they love us, and when we have other women, they will try to do what they can to barter the child to keep us there and things of that nature. You know what I'm saying? And I really hate when outsiders try to view someone's parenting. You know, I had a homegirl who had her son taken, and she had a full throttle situation. Both her peoples had passed. She inherited her family's home, and it became the spot. You know what I'm saying? And her young son was absorbing everything. Now, from the outside perspective, it's like, wow, how can he be raised in this environment? But he was sharp, and because he was living in reality, man, this dude was ahead of the game by far. But they ended up taking him, you know what I'm saying, because people judge the situation, and not everything is going to be cookie cutter. Not everybody is going to talk without cursing. Not everybody's going to be able to display maturity in their parenting. That doesn't make it bad. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And you know, me, you know, I attacked my pops though. You feel what I'm saying? And I regret it because, you know, I now that I'm a grown man and I see the things that it takes to be a man, and he was there. So me trying to say why you didn't do this or why you didn't say that, he was there though. You feel what I'm saying? So I was dead dang wrong.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is, like, if you're blessed enough to be a parent, a father, or a mother, that's a very prestigious title because you are molding the next generation. You know what I'm saying? And as outsiders, family members, friends, we have to be mindful not to, you know, hate on the situation and try to be as positive and understanding as possible. And knowing that, hey, this mother has earned the right to be a mother, let me not be so critical and step in positive ways to support, because it takes a village. You feel me? Most parents that display parenting skills that, you know, aren't appropriate or don't meet the societal standards, they really don't have the support. If they got grandma, if they got uncles, if they got brothers, if they got cousins that really can love and help the situation genuinely, it strengthens the parenting as well, especially when they have older generation that they can model their parenting off of as well. You feel me?
Right. Hey, bro, once again, Dina Love in the building, man. I hope I see you this weekend, brother. I'm in Pasadena shooting my television show. You should fall through, my good brother.
Man, I'm gonna hit you. I'm gonna hit you offline, man. I'm gonna get in there because I'm off this weekend, so I'm gonna definitely be front and center, man. Straight out.
Yes, sir. Let's get it cracking, man. I appreciate you. Richie Rich, Pasadena is in the building because of you. Look, if you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Just call me. This is an open conversation. Nobody's going to judge you here. I want to hear your thoughts. I don't care what you think. I don't care what you, just long as you don't use profanity. WDMA Warrior, Kansas City, Missouri in the building. Let's go, brother. Show me. Hello.
What's good, bro?
What's up, bro?
Yeah. Where you want me to start, bro?
Nah, you start. This your story, brother. You start where you need to start.
Let me start with my baby, first baby mother. Half white. When I mean white, I mean German. Black father. When I first met her, I knew this shit was an issue.
No profanity, brother. No profanity.
My bad.
All right.
Yeah. I could tell that, the mom was a controlling, type of person, and her husband just sat there, like a book. And I tried my best, try to, do what I could, what I do, enjoy the moment. And then I found out she cheated on me with this other dude. And I made a mistake of taking her back because she kept blowing up my phone and everything else. And she had a kid. And ever since I saw that kid, she looked exactly like the other dude. I've had 3 other kids. They all looked like me, facial features and everything. But this one kid don't. And she used everything that she could to lie, use her church, Seventh-day Adventist, to try to use the courts against me. But luckily I had a good, Kazar lawyer to ensure that I didn't pay more than $200 a month on child support at that time. And the hate that she spilled into her.
Wait. Before you get into that, WDMA Warrior, I'm going to come forward. But when I come back, I want to hear this because you're about to get deep about parental alienation. When we come forward, the voice of reason going back to Kansas City, Missouri, he's got a lot to talk about. Hey, can we get y'all to go over to KBLA too? Even if you just open it up and then come back here. I got to get these numbers up. Y'all. I got to get these numbers up. Come on.
He's on fire tonight.
I got to get these numbers up.
Reason with Zoe Williams exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I need as many of y'all in here to also go over to KBLA's YouTube.
And here's the latest from the Black Information Network. Democrat Katie Hobbs has emerged as
do not send super chats on the KBLA page. Thank you.
As more votes came in from the race that had become one of the nation's most closely watched contests.
Yo, we're at $15. Our goal is $150. 60 people drop $5. We changed the game. Let's go.
According to her rep, Flack has a hard time speaking, but it will take a lot more than ALS to silence this icon. ALS is an aggressive neuro disease that impacts the nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. The Miami Marlins are the first major U.S. sports team to have women leading day-to-day operations, with Caroline O'Connor being promoted to President of Business Operations. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information
Thank
Network.
you for coming through on the KBLA page. HP 4RM Miami. Thank you. You don't even have to watch the show over here. You could just come over here. We got to get these numbers up. Come on, y'all.
Like other firms, an attorney will negotiate your case, not a paralegal.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
UCLA is the only Pac-12 school in the
True
top 10
monger.
of this week's AP
Thank you,
men's
sir,
college basketball
for heeding
rankings.
the call.
Girls are ranked
You
8th.
got us to
The top
$20.
5, North Carolina,
Every little bit
Gonzaga,
helps.
Houston, Kentucky,
Every little
and
bit
the
counts.
Brewers are in
Can
action
we get to
tonight at home
150
against
today?
Northwest State. The HBCU school
Tonight.
is a member of the MEAC Conference. Other HBCU members of the MEAC: Howard, Delaware State, Morgan State, South Carolina State, Coppin State, North Carolina Central, and Maryland.
Sean Wells, you got to call in.
Houston tonight. Kawhi
Sean
Leonard,
Wells,
John
call in and
Wall will
talk
be
to me,
sitting
man.
out. The Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL's last remaining undefeated team, are on Monday Night Football tonight. The 8-0 Eagles are at home against Washington. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP.
Where's the Twos and Fuse Collective? Let's go.
We're slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
If you're the victim of a car accident, call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve, our team hits it out of the park. Call 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review.
Call me your MVP.
Is the pen mightier than the sword?
They say the pen is mightier than the sword. At KBLA Talk 1580, we not only have a lot to talk about, we have a lot to write about. Politics, relationships, business, empowerment, and culture. The all-star roster at KBLA Talk 1580 has you covered.
That's what it's all about.
Be sure to follow us on all our socials for our latest book releases, op-eds, essays, and commentaries from our hosts. And, of course, download the
Rob
KBLA
B.
1580 app as we
Took us to
strive bring you the most
$26. Come on.
credible and reliable
Rob
source
B.
for the issues you care
My
about.
guy.
This is unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. What up, baby?
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed, anxious, worried, or frustrated. It's normal. With CalHope's free and secure mental health resources.
Come on, y'all. Let's share this video. I'm about to share it on my Twitter.
And your loved ones need when you need it the most.
I'm going to share it on Twitter right now.
833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Aw, man, you look.
Our Weekly Los Angeles is the largest audited Black newspaper in the state of California, with a distribution of over 50,000 copies weekly. Pick up a copy every Thursday to get the latest news on African American communities of LA. You can also keep up with what's going on in Los Angeles and surrounding cities by going to www.ourweekly.com. The Our Weekly
All right, I just shared it on Twitter.
with the current news about us.
Reggie White.
For your advertising needs.
I see y'all creeping in here. We're at $30.99. Only 120 away from our goal for tonight. The likes look great. 62 likes. Yeah.
Our Weekly Los Angeles.
Peace, Reggie White. Yeah, I heard that.
Our families have worked hard to accomplish the dream of owning a home. Not just to have a roof over their heads, but roots beneath their feet. A place to gather and reconnect with loved ones. A home to pass
60
down
seconds.
through generations. It's your turn now. And Rocket Mortgage is here to help open the doors to home ownership. Rocket is an expert when it comes to buying a home, and we have the tools to help you get there. In this competitive market, a verified approval can give you an edge with sellers. You'll stand out because your finances have been approved, so they'll know you're a serious buyer. So, when it's time to buy that house and make it your dream home, Rocket can. Let us help you get started. Call 888-900-0409 today or visit rocketmortgage.com.
A verified approval is based on an underwriter's analysis of your individual financial information appraisal and title report. Call for cost information and conditions. Equalizing lender license in all 50 states.
What up, what up, what up? Positive influence. Why do you always come in and say good night? It makes me think you're leaving. Are you coming in? Or Or are you going to bed?
SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that
I
can
just want to know,
detect lung
because
cancer early.
sometimes you come in and
It
you say
takes only
good
60
night,
seconds and
everyone.
could save your life. You took the first step.
And then
Now
you
take the
comment
next.
some more, and I
Visit
go, were they
SaveByTheScan.org for
leaving?
a simple quiz
You
to see if
in
you're
here.
eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association.
You in here, positive influence. Stay in here.
You're listening to the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
Too much for the man. Too much for the man. Couldn't make it. So he's leaving the life he's come to know. He said he's going. He said he's going back to mine. Going back to mine. What's left of his world? The world he left behind. Not so long ago. He's leaving. On that midnight train to Georgia. On the midnight train. Yeah. Said he's going back. To a simpler place and time. Oh, yes, he is. I'll be with him. On that midnight train to Georgia.
Ladies and gentlemen, sometimes you got to get on the midnight train to Georgia away from your petty parents. You got to get on an Amtrak away from them. Can I give you guys something here real quick before I go back to WDMA Warrior? Sometimes you have to, the hardest breakup you can ever face is breaking up with, how you were raised. Breaking up with the toolbox you inherited from your parents. The limited toolbox, because of course they were whips, works in progress. Sometimes that's the hardest hitting breakup, right, you could ever experience. Their ways, how they thought, what they thought was right. And maybe it was right for the time, maybe it wasn't. But at some point, you got to go out into the world and challenge if how they taught you and the way they taught you still holds true for you. The truth of who you are, what you're about. I told my son this many, many years ago. I said, your job is to go out into the world and see if anything I say or said to you while you were growing up still has any validity. You got to get out on your path and discover yourself, man. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is to break up with them and the way they thought. And I'm not saying everything they thought was bad. That's not what I'm saying. I don't speak in absolutes, or at least I try not to. But I'm just saying all of the bad stuff that they came with, or that comes with being a work in progress. WDMA Warrior, Kansas City, Missouri. Talk to us, man. You were talking about how the child was getting poured into, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Just remember, no profanity, sir.
Yeah, I got you. You know, let's step it later. I'm going to take it slow. Okay, let me preface this by saying, I grew up in a single-parent household, single mom. Father wasn't there, even though he pretended like he was trying to be, but never did anything. Even though he's known as the chess master of Kansas City, Missouri. You can look his ass up.
You still cursing, bro. Hey, bro.
Can you use ass?
No, just don't curse, okay, brother, please.
My bad.
All right.
My bad. Okay. So, as I'm saying, never really got any guidance. Most of my guidance was from the streets.
Mm-hmm.
You know, met this girl, you know, thought she was unique, special. But there was an event that happened where a black woman got off the bus, heavy set, breathing very heavily, you know. So she just got out the hospital. She was like over 300 pounds. Lucky for me, I was very athletic wrestler at that time. You know, helped her up the stairs, got her into the house, her little apartment she was in, got her in the bed. She kept screaming for her nitrogen capsules. To make a long story short, somehow she died right there. And she freaked out. But being that, you know, I grew up in a predominantly gang-infested area, seeing death, there was nothing to me. So that was kind of a red flag that she couldn't handle something like that.
Well, the death is hard to handle, though. That ain't sometimes that ain't always easy to handle, right?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But when you've seen it multiple times like me, it deadens your nerves. And it opens your eyes and makes you open up and see life for what it really is and how people really treat you. So when I seen and met her parents, I knew this wasn't the right thing. But I was young. She was like 14. I was like 16 or 17. We had our first kid. Like I said, she cheated on me, and I confronted her. She had the kid. Kid looked nothing like me. You know, I supported her. I got a job, 16, got a job, was making money legally. And she had the nerve to take me to child support because I know it came from her mom. It didn't come from her.
So let me stop you for 1 second, because you laying down some real heavy stuff right here. So you admit that you came from a gang-infested environment, correct?
That's correct, sir.
And how did that environment affect you? Now, that's just the environment. I ain't even gonna talk about how you were raised. You talked about your father, how he wasn't really there, or he was there, right? But he didn't participate. What was it?
Let's put it this way. When I first met him as a kid, I basically looked at him like he was a stranger and just kept going on to what I did. And then when I happened to play football in high school,
he got involved.
I broke my hand, and I asked him if he could pay. My mom made me ask him if he could pay for the medical insurance for getting my arm in a cast, and he had nothing to say. But I knew I was about to curse.
I'm glad you caught yourself. That's all right, brother. You good. You're doing good. Let's go.
Yeah. So he was like, "Oh, I can't do nothing for you." It was only like a $400 bill.
Mm-hmm.
But he couldn't do nothing for me. So I was like, yeah, whatever. Never looked back after that. So like I'm saying.
So wait, because you're giving me more now. So now I want to know, how did your environment and being around, your father or lack thereof, how did that affect your ability to be a father? Because I need you to see something real quick. How did it affect your ability to be a good father? Can you talk about that? What kind of father did it make you? Yes, talk to me about that. Go ahead.
I always wanted to be better than him, but unfortunately the females I involved myself with, they never allowed me to do that.
Do they have the power to allow you to do it, or did you relinquish the power through blame?
You was almost about to make me curse again.
I'm glad you're doing it. I'm glad you holding back, brother. I'm glad. Thank you.
You pulling some trigger boys, bro.
I have to, though.
Yeah.
I have to.
Yeah, I get you, bro. But yeah.
Because what I'm saying is, if you chose them, If I choose a pair of shoes that's too small for me, that's on me to take the shoes back or to not wear the shoes. So the point that I'm making is you are partially responsible for the experience you got just on choosing alone. I'm not even going to get into how trauma, you understand? Just on choosing alone. See, what I don't want you to do, because in a way it disempowers you as a person. It disempowers you as a being by saying they didn't allow me. And I understand. There are a lot of people. Listen.
The court should not allow me.
I understand, brother. I understand. But guess what you can do? And guess what children have often done in those scenarios? You can always stay in contact from a distance.
Unfortunately, the courts in California, they do not allow you to do that.
You couldn't stay in contact from a distance, brother?
No.
You mean like send a message to IG and say, hey, you need anything?
Contact whatsoever, bro.
Oh, wait, you got to stay with me. No, don't you go nowhere. Heck no, Kansas City, don't go nowhere. When we come forward, we're going to drill down deeper into this most powerful story.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
It's the holiday season.
Hey, y'all.
Maisha Cairo here with your K-Black Minute News.
This KBLA page needs help. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about, that restraining order.
To release fragrance in her honor, reportedly marking one of the first official endorsement deals for the
hey, y'all.
singer.
Can we get everybody to go over there too? Just open up a page. You don't have to watch it over there. I just need the numbers. Can we get the numbers up?
Franchise back on screen. This time as a limited series debuting in December on Peacock. I just love the holidays. What are you most excited about this
We're at
season?
$35.98 over here.
KBLA 1580
All right, $35.98. Are we going to reach our goal of 150? Truemonger, are we going to make it?
Who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP accident attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Our team is in it to win it, and we'll fight to get the maximum compensation you deserve. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS.
That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking. Open another browser tab for the KBLA. Don't go over there and go, ain't nobody over here. Then leave. Just open up another browser, put it on there, and then come back here. We need the numbers.
Gummy crust? I don't think so.
Or half of a domino.
Bam! Big six.
But where's the other half?
Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Stay up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
KBLA Talk 1580.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Maisha Cairo here with Dom Kennedy at JP Morgan Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour. They're here to promote generational wealth building in Black communities. He's an independent rapper and the owner of OPM record label. Dom Kennedy, why do you find it important to be here today at this event with Chase?
For me, we've been having a lot of conversations with them, and giving me a lot of good facts and a lot of good feedback.
We're live in a minute.
To be shared, and if people heard it, they would take to the information, and it would help them on their quest to be homeowners and just better off financially across the board. They like my
Nzinga made it. What up, Nzinga? I'll talk to y'all on both pages.
Bank managers could kind of be a little intimidating.
What up, y'all? Let's get these numbers up on the KBLA page. Let's go.
Me being able to communicate it and make the story real, I guess for the younger people, there's a great opportunity, and I didn't want to pass on.
That's awesome. So answer me this. Why is it important for companies like Chase to promote generational wealth in Black and Brown communities?
Keep it real. They make a lot of money off the Black and Brown communities. I look at it like it's a great responsibility for them to take on, share some knowledge and some facts. And try
That's why I said open up the page and come back over here.
And a chance at generational wealth.
Riri?
It's beneficial to both parties,
I'm Maisha
Just
Cairo,
open up the
and
page
Dom
and come back
Kennedy.
over here.
Stay tuned for more tips from Chase's Advancing Black Wealth Tour.
You want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, friends and family, my playlist is my co-host, Sade, No Ordinary Love. And the reality of it is, it's no ordinary love when you're dealing with toxic, immature parents. And if they're raising you, you're being groomed by that same toxicity, by that same immaturity. WDMA Warrior is going through it right now, and I'm trying to walk the walk with this brother right now. Talk to me, man. Where do we leave off?
I think we left off with court, visitation, something along those lines.
Yeah, so you said no visitation, and there must have been a restraining order that prevented you from communicating.
No, it was not a restraining order.
Well, if there was no restraining order,
there was a supervised visits.
Okay. So what did you do?
And her mom was there every time.
I got it.
And she made sure that I never said anything real to my daughter to let her explain what is going on. But she was young, so I couldn't really explain to her what was really going on.
Mm-hmm.
If you understand what I mean.
I got it. So,
there's no way that being that young that she could comprehend what's going on right now.
How old is she now?
She's probably in her 30s.
Did she ever come back to you?
She tried, but she had that venom from her mom. And she made so many mistakes like her mom, even worse. She had 2 babies by a gangbanger and left her with, support. You're on my Facebook. I got a picture of both of my daughters, me standing with both my daughters. And if you look at them, the one on the right looks nothing like me. The one on the left does.
So you don't have a relationship with your 30-something-year-old daughter?
No. She said something to me so foul, I told her I never want to ever speak to you ever again in my life.
Wow. This is heavy work, brother. Have you ever considered going to therapy to work this out? Because, let me just tell you this right now. Everybody who's listening to this show can hear your pain, dude.
No, I'm good, bro.
You sure?
Therapy.
You don't care?
Oh, yeah.
No therapy.
No therapy.
I see people in the chat room saying they could hear your pain. So no, you good.
Yeah, bro. That's him being a gangster.
My engineer said that's you being a gangster right now.
No, I ain't no gangster. This is being a man. Back in 2015, I used to be homeless.
Talk to me. Share your story, brother.
I supported my youngest daughter through her college years, and she's a doctor right now. So ain't no pain. She's my life. She's my angel. If anybody ever touched her, somebody's going to die.
Okay, listen, WDMA, we don't want no smoke tonight. All I'm saying is, I have a daughter, brother. And my daughter means everything to me. I couldn't rationalize not being in her life, not participating.
Yeah, but I had a chance to meet her. It was funny because my homeboy who was with me when my ex popped up before she. Let me go over this again. Let me set the picture. Picture meeting that baby mama 20 years later, knowing you're doing well, and her daughter is common friends with your homeboy, and they're having a hangout, and they both show up. So the baby mom comes up, and she's like, "Hi, how you doing?" My homeboy was like, "Wow, that's the most respectful I've ever seen her be in your presence.
Hmm.
And then the daughter comes up, she's respectful. But then, when it comes down to it, I can tell by the words and the things that they're saying that there's venom there.
Mm-hmm. Do you still have venom for them?
Hell, no venom. I ain't got no venom for nobody. I got no time for hate. Life's too short. I've endured too much. I grew up during the 90s when I should be dead. I didn't think I was dead to be 25 years old growing up in Dago. There's a Lincoln Park blood.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, this is what I want to do. This is what I want to do. Bro, I want you to contact me off the air. And I
got you on IG.
Yes, and I want to talk with you. I want to chop it up with you, bro. Because the reality of it is you've seen a lot, you've done a lot, you've been through a lot, and I know, trust me, spirits are like stomachs. You know what they need? They need a cleanse. They need a detox. I said, yes, I'm here, man. I said, spirits are like stomachs. They need a detox. They need a cleanse. And brother, if you would be willing to chop it, yes, brother, if you would be willing to chop it up with me off air, I would love to talk to you, brother, and low key mentor you. I don't know if you older or younger, but either way, I would love to mentor you, brother, because
I'm older than you. I'm Freeze Love's age.
Freeze Love.
We'll chop that up a few times.
Yes, I would love to chop it up with you, brother. So please reach out to me. You follow me. If you follow me on Instagram, brother, reach out to me, man, and let's connect and talk about it, bro. All right?
Yeah, for sure, bro.
All right, man. Thank you for sharing, man. I really appreciate you calling.
All good, bro.
Thank you, fam. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you right now, I love that call. And I'm going to tell you why. It's not always about getting an answer. You understand? It's not always about getting an answer right now. Sometimes the answer is the process that you got to go through. Sometimes people are reluctant to participate. You hear me say this all the time. You can't convince the unwilling, right? But you can offer, hey, brother, I'll walk with you on this journey. And let's see where it goes. When we come forward, I'm going to SFV. You already know, San Fernando Valley, Fred, and of course, Sam from Gardena. We're going to keep this deep conversation going. This is on fire. This is no ordinary love. Is no ordinary love.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Ordinary love.
I'm Mike Island, and here's the
What up?
Black Information Network.
YouTube, what up? We've been sitting at $35 this whole time.
Arizona Governor, NBC News.
We've been sitting right here this whole time.
From the race that had become one of the nation's most closely watched contests.
Can I get my twos and fews to represent? It's 78 people in here. Everybody drop a 5 spot. If you haven't done it already, can I get everybody to drop a 5 spot? We're trying to get to $150. We're at 35.
Flack has a hard time speaking, but it will take a lot more than ALS to silence this icon. ALS is a progressive neuro disease that impacts the nerve cells in the brain and spinal cord. The Miami Marlins are the first major U.S. sports team to have women leading day-to-day operations, with Caroline O'Connor being promoted to president of business operations.
Somebody done gave money on
News source, the Black Information Network, and BIN.
Somebody done gave money on the KBLA. You can't.
Sometimes you need a good value, especially when it comes to fuel. Lava Propane gives you 2 extra.
Who is this Cooley's Hot Box?
Short fill. You get more gas for the same cash.
They gave money
It's time to check
on the
propane
I don't get that
Visit
money, y'all.
LavaPropane.com for value and location.
Hey, Riri, thank you.
Ray Richards.
WDMA, definitely honors, bro. Cooley's Hotbox just gave KBLA. I don't know who gets that money.
Gonzaga, Houston, Kentucky, and Baylor. The Bruins are in action tonight at home against Norfolk State. The HBCU school is a member of the MEAC Conference. Other HBCU members of the MEAC: Howard, Delaware State, Morgan State, South Carolina State, Coppin State, North Carolina Central, and Maryland Eastern Shore.
Yep, they done gave Tavis Smiley $20.
Kawhi Leonard and John Wall will be sitting out. The Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL's last remaining
Hey, WDMA, for real. Reach out to me, fam. Let's chop it up.
No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray
Appreciate
Richardson.
you, brother.
This sports report was brought to you by MVP.
Let's chop it up.
Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
When you're the victim of a car accident, hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. Call the pros at MVP Accident Attorneys at 833-MVP-WINS for your free consultation. Call me your MVP.
Fred Dorsey.
Drop it. When you tune in to
Come on, Fred.
1580, we want you to know what you're
What up, Fred?
You listen to me closely. In a recent African-American media issue survey conducted by the Public Opinion Research and Public Policy Consulting firm Eviteris, KBLA Talk 1580 was found to be the most trusted, credible, and reliable source on the airways for Black Los Angeles and beyond. Check it out. We take our role seriously as your trusted messenger at KBLA Talk 1580.
Nah, you good, Riri.
Not ratings. And when you hear us say,
We at 55-98.
that's the bottom line. We're not going back.
Can we make it?
Back alleys, not back in the closet, and definitely not back to the good old days.
Might as well forget it. No way.
We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Zoe Williams, the voice of reason. If your relationship is in trouble, I'm the dude to call. Has your soulmate become your cellmate? Does black love still exist? What are your
You guys got to go to the new link
and fetishes?
on KBLA. They stopped the first hour and then started again. Go join the page, y'all. Let's go. And don't get the money.
It's a very heated topic. Oh, that right. Mama's baby, daddy's maybe.
I just have so many questions I want to ask you.
I was like the kid. There's something wrong up there.
Damn.
He told me he had a vasectomy. I'm pregnant.
Betrayal has been committed. Hit you with a bad pipes routine. How does he maintain his humposity?
He likes it when it pinches the nip.
Why can't you open up?
I saw that. I saw.
On the inside, they don't show their weaknesses. Yeah.
How do you write women so well?
Zoe Williams,
Reason and accountability.
the voice of reason.
Must understand the touch of your hand makes my pulse react. That it's only the thrill of boy meeting girl opposites attract. It's physical, only logical. You must try to ignore that it means more than that. Oh, what's love got to do? It's got to do with it. What's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do?
The VOR, Voice of Reason, live on KBLA Talk 1580. Tonight we having a really deep discussion, and I'm very thankful for all the people that call in and share their testimony. I appreciate your transparency. I appreciate your honesty, because I know a lot of people don't like having real conversations, you know? And this show is all about real conversations. When mom and dad are toxic groomers, in other words, the toxicity in them, the ignored toxicity within them makes them the priority instead of the child. And so all the child has left is to model that. How do you prove a child is being coached by a toxic parent? Huh? 1-800-920-1580. Get to your phone line. I want to talk to y'all. How do you deal with a petty co-parent, a tit for tatter? The bigger picture is the child's happiness or the children's happiness, right? Children need advocates on both sides. Mom and dad, we are advocates. A child or children, they need a team. They need teamwork, right? And the best way to be an effective team, you got to go to practice. But you're not practicing on your partner with complaints. You're practicing on yourself by claiming what is yours to work on. What causes a parent to be emotionally immature? How do you deal with an immature parent? What is malicious parent syndrome? Oh yeah, it's such a thing. It's such a thing. Heavy stuff. Heavy stuff that we have to deal with, man. If we're not going to have a real conversation, why do we tune in? We turn everything into entertainment. No, let's turn this into edutainment. Let's try to figure out who we need to be for the children's sake, right? Malicious parent syndrome is when a parent seeks to punish the other parent by talking poorly about them and or doing things to place the parent in a bad light, particularly in the eyes of their children. That's malicious parent syndrome. Oh, let me hop on TikTok and make a terrible video about the father of my child because I'm jealous of his life. I've seen it happen. And I'm sure the reverse has happened. Has it? Somebody call in. Talk to me. 1-800-920-1580. Toxic parents are typically self-centered. They're typically verbally abusive. They typically have controlling behaviors, typically manipulative behaviors. Typically, they lack boundaries. Have you experienced that? Were you raised in that type of environment? When mom and dad are toxic groomers. What kind of monster, let's just be honest, can I tell the truth? What kind of monster are you raising if you're not trying to defeat the demons or as Carl Jung called it, our inner dragons? If you're not trying to tackle your inner dragons. There is a documentary on YouTube I want everybody to watch. Go get it. It's called Finding Joe. Thank me later. Go watch the documentary, Finding Joe. Man, life beats some of us up so bad, right? That we start to normalize what has happened and what we've been through. It becomes a part of our magnus opus when we talk about ourselves, right? It becomes a part of our narrative. This is who I am, and this is what made me, right? Everything I ain't is what did Kanye say? Everything I ain't is what made me. What did he say? Is that what he said? What's his Kanye said something like that. We're going to get one of the youngsters to get the quote right. When I come forward, we got Orlando, Florida. We got Fred up in San Fernando Valley. I'm going to Fred first. And then we got Sam from Gardena. I'm going to Sam from Gardena second. When we come forward, the phone lines will chime in.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings will disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zone Williams.
Everything I'm not made me everything I am. There it is.
The California California Crusader newspaper would like to thank all of our subscribers for their support throughout the years. Proudly
Y'all
serving
fucking with the
South Los
topic?
Angeles and South Bay areas for more than 40 years.
Y'all fucking with the topic or
Crusader
not?
is a multicultural, black-owned, adjudicated newspaper.
Y'all
that
fucking with the
focuses on
show?
providing newsworthy
Are y'all
information
fucking with the show?
We're constantly looking for ways to assist businesses in our community to connect with our subscribers.
Y'all holla at me. Tell me, is there another show on like this?
And affordable advertising rates. You can participate by suggesting, sharing, and submitting your stories on the California Crusader newspaper Community Share Facebook group page, or visit our website at cal-cruise-news.com. That's cal-cruise-news.com.
I'm trying to get y'all into another space.
Now button located on the top right corner of the homepage, or text CCN to
True monger.
42828. Again, text CCN to 42828. The California Crusader newspaper, working together to build a better community for our future.
Hey, exactly,
Subscribe
Quentin.
today.
It's Pro Time, which means at Lowe's, you're invited to enjoy a Lowe's Pro Happy Hour.
Yep.
Kick back with free Pepsi Cola drinks and Frito-Lay snacks. Plus, earn 3 times bonus points per dollar on purchases of select Pepsi products. Come in.
Hey, y'all
Lowe's
gotta
and get
check
the
out
full
Finding
MVP
Joe.
treatment at Pro Happy Hour on November 17th.
Hey, Andy, look at that.
PM. While supplies last. Bonus points offer valid 10/27 through 12/8. Calculated before taxes and fees after applicable discounts, if any. See Lowe's.com/L/pro loyalty terms.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 joins you in standing for human rights. The Los Angeles Civil, Human Rights and Equity Department, or LA Civil Rights for short, is focused on reducing bias and injustices while leveling the playing field. LA Civil Rights does this through equity and empowerment, the Office of Racial Equity, hate prevention, upward mobility programming, and youth programming. They convene commissions and advisory councils.
Wow. Fred, I'm coming.
Department of the City of Los Angeles.
Fred, I'm coming.
Executive Director Capri Maddox, and is breaking new ground for municipal governance. LA Civil Rights oversees citywide initiatives, including the Renew Program, LA Repair Program, and the LA for All campaign. The LA Civil Rights Department believes that the goals of equity and inclusion for all people can be achieved through hard work and collective action. To get involved and be part of the solution, report a civil rights violation, or get more information, visit civilandhumanrights.lacity.org. That's civilandhumanrights.lacity.org, or call 213-978-1845. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Ladies and brothers, the voice of reason gonna keep the energy high. Woo-hoo-hoo. Everybody crazy. Listen, man, my mother did the best she could do, man. She did the best she could do, and with what she was able to do, I was able to do the rest. I grew up. I learned. She had some limited skills. She has a limited toolbox, and the rest I was gonna have to learn via trial and error. I took the onus off of her, and I took responsibility for me. Thank you, Mother. You've taken me as far as you can take me. But I first had to look at her objectively and say, "Oh, that's who she is." When we see them as superheroes, That's when our expectations of them become inflexible. No, they're not superheroes. They're regular people. They struggle. And typically, thinking that they're being a good parent, they conceal what's wrong with them to the best of their ability until it erupts in our faces. And then we model that because that's who they are. And we came from them. And our identity of self tends to come from who raised us. Let's get into it, y'all. Fred from San Fernando Valley. Come on, Fred, talk to us. Fred? Where Fred at? Fred, you gone? Okay, Fred, we got to keep it pushing. You might have to call back in. Sam from Gardena. Holla at me, brother.
I'm just so glad you brought up this conversation. I just listened to a guy just before a minute ago that you were talking to. Sometimes hurt replaces hate. And he kept talking to a 14-year-old young lady that he had. He never really said that that's not his child. He just said it didn't look like it. He kept saying it over and over again. And so I just want to bring something out. I got a lot of time in my hand. I'm a sociologist by degree. I'm herbologist by urbanology by degree also. I've been looking at one thing that's an epidemic in our community. We got a real big problem in our community. We got to clear it up real quick, especially with this thing pushing the Roe v. Wade thing. Paternity. Paternity. You are not the father. We got so many young men that are damaged in this country because our system is broken. Not blaming the female. Blame could be there, but not blaming the female. The system is antiquated. It's terrible. The amount of money that the system is making off of these parents, these people who are not the father sometimes, is atrocious. We gotta get legislation. And we gotta get it in place real quick. Because for some of these states, it's going to be a disaster to a lot of these young men. The point is simple. There should be no reason that a female walks into court and gives one person that she had a relationship with to the judge or whomever it is without revealing the others. That may be possibility. There is no reason in the world that a man could be on a boat, on a ship. I had a case where the guy was a Marine on a boat, couldn't get back to the courthouse. 18 years later, he's paying child support because he just couldn't get there.
Failure to appear. Yeah.
Failure to appear. You know about it. You just failure to appear. Almost in some places, you just have to say, he's the dad. And that's it. We can stop this. All I'm saying is this. We need legislation. It is nothing wrong with having legislation where a female that comes forth and says that she has a child by a person, she must reveal every male that was in that period that she became impregnated. What's wrong with that? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that simple process there to eliminate the fact that you're getting the wrong person. He's not the daddy. He's not the father. We've got to do something here to stop it because we have too many young African-American males that are being blamed, and they are not the father.
Sam?
So put this out here to all of you out there. I don't have a problem with that. It's just that I've been studying it. I've gone back to, a lot of information on it now. And, the state makes almost $64 billion off of this little thing when a person has back child support, real child support. The female gets little or none of that money back. The state gets it all back. It's ridiculous the amount of money that the state takes from these people. And also incarceration. Look at incarceration, how much they make off of just incarcerating someone. This is a business going on that's really robbing us, people. Not only robbing us, but look at the child. We got to look at the child. Now, listen, if a mother cannot tell a child who his father is, that's terrible. The child is broken for the rest of his life. His or her life. I see it often. We got to do something about this. And so, I don't mind stepping out. If someone wants to get in touch with me, I have an email that I'm pushing now where I'm trying to get legislation going. I'm trying to get some people to work with this.
What's the email?
We can do it. Solicit, SOLICITME1 @gmail.com.
One more time.
Solicit, SOLICITME1 @gmail.com. Sam.
Thank you, brother. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, man.
Good work. I keep up the good work. You're doing a great job. Do it. Don't stop. Don't stop. You're great.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. That was Gardena. You want to bring your city in the building? You know what you got to do. Call me at 1-800-920-1580. Khadijah, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Come on.
Hey, so how are you this evening?
I'm acting up tonight. Come on.
Great show, great show.
Thank you.
You know, this is a subject and a topic that, you know, we really don't want to talk about as people, especially and more specific black people. And, in fact, my channel was called the Mental House TV for this reason alone. Because I really believe, not only was I raised by a minister from the nation of, and also a mother who I believe suffered from histrionic of some sort. And when I think about the dynamic that has on our family, the gaslighting and the, you know, just the triangulation of the children. And what we don't talk about is how when we have generations of dysfunction, what that does to a community. I believe, this is just my opinion, that we actually have a pain body. And that pain body is so deep, so that when we start getting into, you know, it used to be like back in the day when you had a young couple that had, you know, kids. Well, they usually had guidance a lot of times from the older couple, you know, or they would look at it and say, well, you know, you can't do that. You know, that's not, well, let's try it this way. Well, we don't have that today. And you got 2 generations of 13 and 14-year-olds having children. And so, to me, this is just, like I said, my opinion is that if you're not emotionally mature, and then you got a parent who suffers from, you know, all this abuse that they carry on generationally, it's a hard way to fight yourself out if you don't really believe that nothing is wrong.
Right, right.
So we have to start, to me, from that angle, to that we all have a pain body. And then we got to deal with that pain body, because the more, you know, as I look at my mom now, and I don't see her as infallible. Well, of course, she's in her 80s now, suffering with dementia. But the fact of the matter is, you know, I lost my father, like, back in February. But the fact of the matter is they don't have a clue to the damage. And a lot of parents and a lot of people don't. I mean, they didn't have Oprah. So, you know, a lot of these challenges that, you know, you have personality-wise, your parents didn't have the tools in the toolbox to even share with you. You know, and so I think that's the dynamic that we have to come, you know, from up under. But we got to focus on our toxic nature and why that they're like that. And the people that we learned from were very toxic. You know, my mother tells me stories that when she was grow up, that how they used to hide under the table because they would be drinking moonshine and you know, fighting and stuff. And no kid need to grow up in an environment like that.
Right.
It's going to make them crazy, you know, and then their ability to have a healthy relationship is going to be minimized.
Wow.
You know, so that's really all I wanted to say this morning. Afternoon,
evening.
But I appreciate, I appreciate you tackling this subject.
Thank you so much, Khadijah. Call in anytime. We appreciate you. Got a seat at the table. Look, if you want to bring your city in the building like Khadijah just did. She brought Milwaukee, Wisconsin in the building. You want to bring your city in? All you got to do is call me at 1-800-920-1580. Sean, Orlando, Florida is in the building. Talk to us, Sean.
Hey, brother. Well, I have to tell you, what a wonderful show, number one. And number two, if you don't mind me saying, I really want to give a huge shout out to Andy, Brother Andy, the engineer on this show.
Yes.
Producer, executive producer, whatever titles we can give this man, because he just kicks rear end every single day, and I'm just so... I'm impressed by him. So I have to say that. I'm sorry. I just have to. But
no, that's all right. That's Andy. That's all right. He deserves the flowers. Yes.
Absolutely. And when it comes to the kids, I have teenagers, and even when you can do certain things that may be considered a luxury, and I agree. We're in Orlando right now at Disney World doing that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
There's an opportunity always to teach, because I never went to these places when I was a kid, right? I mean, I want to make that clear. I was never poor in my life, so I was also very fortunate. I was never poor.
Mm-hmm.
I was always had I could have good shoes and had a place, a roof over my head, and my mom did the most amazing thing, like you were mentioning your mom and all that, doing the best she could, because my mom was a single mom for a long time, then she got remarried, blah, blah, blah. But the point, what I'm trying to say is everything you do as a guide to your children, they pick it up. They pick it up like it's like, oh my goodness. And so you have to realize that when you've had all these things that you've already gone through in your life that are toxic and traumatic, okay, it's okay to talk to them about it, but don't take it out on them. And what I mean by that is, don't sit there and try to tell them not to do something that you've already seen done or done yourself. It's much better to say, hey, we got a few minutes here, and it's kind of hard nowadays, with your kids to have a time to talk with them and chat with them and have a very nice conversation, because all the screens. Probably you and I didn't grow up with all those, but it's very important to say, hey, let's have a chat. I want to talk to you about this because, here's where, I did things in which it just was, it hurt, and I made these mistakes. That's number one. And number two, here are things that happened to me that I had no control over that hurt. This is what life is about. The most predictable thing you can say about life is that it's unpredictable. And I'm serious about that. And so if you're never going to have a perfect outcome or a perfect way to handle things, but just be ready and be honest and be open, because otherwise, your kids are going to go find someone else to find that information from. I'd much rather it be from me or my better half, my wife, or my family.
Well, Sean,
yeah,
we got to move forward with brother. I appreciate that insight, man. Thank you so much. You brought Orlando, Florida in the building. Thank you, bro. Listen, when we come forward, you already know he's made himself somewhat of a celebrity here. Fred from San Fernando Valley about to jump in here and take us for a ride.
It's the voice of reason with Zoe Williams, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm Mike Island, and here's
all
the
right,
latest
y'all.
from the Black
Black information.
This is the last 30 minutes of the show.
Hobbs has emerged as the winner of the race.
This is the last 30 minutes of the show. Are we going to make it? Are we going to raise that $110? That's how much we're short. We're at $60.98. Are we going to hit that $110 mark to reach the $150 mark? I need everybody to jump in here and drop those twos and fews. $5 from everybody would do it.
The Miami Marlins are the first major U.S. sports team to have women leading day-to-day operations.
$5 from everybody that hasn't given already.
And that's the latest. I'm Mike Island from your 24/7
Come on,
News,
twos and
source
fews, show up.
And BINnews.com.
In these inflationary times, you need a good value, especially when it comes to fuel. Lava Propane gives you 2 extra pounds more than other companies who short.
We are
you.
$110
You get more gas
away.
for the same cash. With the holidays coming, it's time to check propane tank levels. Visit lavapropane.com for value and location.
Woo, Daniel, that's a heater. Damn, Daniel.
UCLA is the only Pac-12
If
school
you
in the top 10
yourself
of this week's AP
cannot
college basketball
be
rankings.
coachable,
The Bruins are ranked
you
8th,
cannot
the top
coach a
5,
child.
North Carolina, Gonzaga, Houston, Kentucky, and Baylor. The Bruins are in action tonight at home against
Wow.
Norfolk State. The HBCU school is a member of the MEAC Conference. Other HBCU members of the MEAC: Howard,
Wow.
Delaware State, Morgan
Daniel
State, South
Lathan.
Carolina State,
Thank you,
Coppin
brother.
State, North Carolina
We're at
State,
65.98. We inching up. We're $105 away from the goal.
Wall will be sitting out. The Philadelphia Eagles, the NFL's last remaining undefeated team, are on Monday Night Football tonight. The 8-0 Eagles are at home against Washington. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. This sports report was brought to you by MVP Accident Attorneys. When it comes to your settlement, we're a slam dunk. Call 833-MVP-WINS or check their website at themvp.com for a free case review.
If you're the victim of a car accident,
Well,
the
Commanders beat the Eagles 32-21.
Call 833-MVP-WINS for a free case review.
Thank you. We showing up. We're at 75.98. Thank you.
We want you to know what you're down.
Yeah, the Commanders beat the Philadelphia Eagles 32-21. It's over.
Policy consulting firm Evitarus. KBLA Talk 1580 was found to be the most trusted, credible, and reliable source on the airways for Black Los Angeles and beyond. Check it out. We take our role seriously as your trusted messenger. At KBLA Talk 1580, it's about truth, not ratings. And when you hear us say, when we come forward, we mean it. We mean it.
That's the bottom line.
We're not going back. Not to the back of the bus, not to back alleys, not back in the closet, and definitely not back to the good old days.
Might as well forget it. No way.
We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. KBLA Talk 1580 would like to thank all the businesses that tune into KBLA at work. We celebrate you, your calls to the station, and your overall support. To show our appreciation, we would like to treat your office to a lunch for 10, brought to you by K. Michelle's Kitchen Catering. Open the KBLA Talk 1580 app or log on to KBLA1580.com to be selected for our Office of the Week. We know you are just like our staff, putting in many smart, hard-working hours per week. We just want to say thank you, and we appreciate you. You and your staff deserve lunch on us. Enter your office to win lunch for 10 and be highlighted on KBLA Talk 1580 as our Office of the Week. Open the KBLA app or log on to KBLA 1580 to enter your office today to become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. Sponsored by K. Michelle's Kitchen Catering.com. Become the KBLA Talk 1580 Office of the Week. This has been a KBLA Talk 1580 community call to action.
Life is uncertain. It's okay to feel stressed.
No, it's not too late.
Worried or frustrated.
You could call in. Andy just went to the bathroom.
Free and secure mental health resources. It's easy to get the help
You can still call in.
and your loved ones need when you need it the most. Call our warm line at 833-317-4673 or live chat at calhope.org today.
Andy just went to the
Finding the
bathroom.
right Medicare plan? Oof, no easy feat. Kind of like those dances my granddaughter loves making me do. But then I found Walgreens FindRx coverage. Lets you compare plans online, over the phone, or in person. Made Medicare shopping so easy. Plus, I found plans with low-cost copays. I can get down
No
with
cussing on the air.
Medicare annual enrollment ends December 7th. Find a plan that's right for you at walgreens.com/Medicare.
At Social Security, we are always thinking of ways to save you time and make things easier.
Where did Andy? Oh.
That's why we created My
Live at 20.
All right, so look, Andy is back. So if you want to call in, now's the time to call in.
Request a replacement Social Security card, get a proof of income letter, estimate and apply for benefits, and more. Save time. Go online. Open a My Social Security account at ssa.gov/myaccount. Social Security. Securing today and tomorrow.
Produced at U.S. taxpayer expense.
You're listening to the voice of reason with Phil Williams. Only on KBLA Talk 1580.
I put a spell on you. Because you're mine. Stop the things you do. What's up? I ain't lying. I can't stand. Woo! No running around. I can't stand. No putting me down. I put a spell on you. Because you're mine.
Ladies! Wow. My playlist is my co-host. A lot of us are putting spells on our children because we can't control our emotions. We can't control what's wrong with us. And when I say wrong, it's not really wrong, it's a generational curse. But I don't like using generational curse. I say it's a generational task. It's generational curriculums. Right? You inherited some stuff from your mama and your daddy. Your daddy was a hothead. Your daddy handled conflict physically. Your daddy was verbally abusive. Maybe your mama was verbally abusive. These are the generational courses that you must take and matriculate through. And if your child, and I'm going to give you this, if your child sees you acting beneath your dignity, you must also show them the opposite. They must see you acting above your dignity or at your dignity's level. For too many of our households, there is a dignity deficit. And if you show out in front of them kids, you better show up for them kids in the best way you know how. They must be the first priority. I know women who mad they had a baby because their life got so-called preempted. I get it. You thought you was going to have a different life, but that ain't the life you have. You have the life you have. Agree or disagree? A toxic parent is more concerned with their own needs than whether what they're doing is harmful or damaging. They don't even care if it's harmful or damaging. They lack empathy. They likely won't apologize or even admit that what they were doing was wrong. And the abuse or neglect tends to be ongoing and progressive. So not only are they toxic, they're manipulative. That didn't happen. They gaslighters. That didn't happen. It didn't happen that way. You making a bigger deal out of it than it really is. And these adults will carry this mindset into adult relationships and become codependent and needy and spiritual beggars, paupers, spiritual paupers. I know it sounds crazy, but it's real. 1-800-920-1580. Talk to me. Fred from San Fernando Valley.
Okay, I'm here.
All right. Okay, Fred.
Okay.
All right.
All right, so let me
Jump on the radio while you're at it.
a man who does not love his child does not love himself.
Ooh.
Man is a vain animal. We love to see our faces everywhere, on billboards, TV, everywhere, magazines. But what really makes my Johnson hard is to see my face on another human being. Man, that just tickle me to the bone.
Mm-hmm.
So any man will have this. Just like when you look at your child, so do you see your wife in his face, or do you see you in his face? Which one?
I see me. I see me and my daughter. I see me.
That's the vanity of man. That's the vanity of man. So, first of all, like I said, when a woman tries to get back at me, out of spite through my child and so forth, I look in the mirror and I say to myself, damn, I don't blame her. I would want to get back with me too. So I don't blame her for getting mad because she's missing out on this. But what I do, I make sure that I make a superhuman effort to make sure my child knows that I love them. See, my baby mamas always wanted me to see me do bad, but it never happened. I always, like I said, I'm the chosen one. I always landed on my feet. When they wanted to see me in the streets, they seen me living in houses with basketball courts and swimming pools. It killed them because they always kept trying to say, "Your dad ain't nothing. He ain't nothing." But every time my kids saw me, I was living a good life. A good life. And understand this, for the women, if you weren't able to lock that man down as far as getting him to marry you, well, that's just, that's just how the game goes. But don't take it out on the child. Don't deprive the child of knowing his history, because the history comes from two families. Mm-hmm. And if the child don't know either side of the family, then basically the child is lost, because you don't have an idea where he is in the universe.
Brother Fred, I appreciate it, brother. Thank you for the insight. We got to keep pushing. I appreciate it. Thank you for the jewels. He brought San Fernando Valley into the building. If you want to bring your city in the building, all you got to do is call us, 1-800-920-1580. Black Oak in my chat room said, how can you raise your child when the mother moves out of the state and doesn't tell you where they are? Just roll out. First off, in the state of California, I don't know where you are, in the state of California, the father has 6 months to respond to that. Listen, unless you have a custody, unless you have custody, joint custody, right? If you guys don't have custody, she can take the child, but she can't keep the child. You can go to the state of California or to child support and go, hey, she took the kid and they've been gone. But you only have 6 months to say that. After 6 months, it's just like a failure to appear in court. It's almost like the system will look at you as, oh, you didn't act. You didn't respond. You got 6 months to say, she left in the state of California. I don't know how it is in other states, but in the state of California, she leave with that baby. You can definitely say, bring that baby back here. We have to establish custody. That's if you don't have custody already. And if you have custody and she takes that child, that is kidnapping. You can't just leave. That's not how this works. You can't just bounce. If you guys have a custody agreement, you can't just bounce. Now, if you don't have a custody agreement, you got 6 months to respond. Like, wait a minute. Hold on. Now, that's in the state of California. Again, I don't know how this works out in other states. Other states may have different rules. But let me ask you this. How many men know that information and still don't do nothing about it? How about that? Sometimes men know that information. There are some men, I know some men personally, that know that information and be like, all right, be gone. I'm going to tell you now, this immature parent syndrome is toxic, man. Immature parents are scared of showing real emotions, and they tend to pull back from being too close to anyone in the home. This happens. You are responsible for a little spirit, a little soul, and you acting like a little kid. It has to be dealt with if you want to raise a healthy kid. When we come forward, the phone lines are open. The number to dial, 1-800-920-1580. We still got a lot to talk about. Let's do it.
Is it good to you? More Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams when we come forward.
Where y'all at?
Governor Newsom not supporting making kindergarten mandatory.
Get to your phone line.
Here, it's your K-Black Minute News. The Office of Governor Gavin Newsom released a list of bills from the current legislative session that he both signed and those that he vetoed. Among the bills vetoed was Senate Bill 70, which would have made attending 1 year of kindergarten mandatory beginning the 2024 to 2025 school year. Existing California law does not require children to attend school until they are 6 years old, the age that children typically begin first grade. Kindergarten is reported to help level the playing field for children who are less likely to receive high-quality childcare or preschool. Parents and community members, what are your thoughts on all this? I'd like to know. Tweet us at KBLA 1580 hashtag KBlackMinute with your thoughts.
You're the victim of a car accident. Who goes to bat for you is crucial. We're MVP accident attorneys, the personal injury pros. Hiring the right law firm can be the difference between a rewarding settlement and striking out. When it comes to getting the maximum compensation you deserve.
Y'all not calling? All right, cool. I'll talk.
Call the pros at MVP accident attorneys at
That's why I wanted to get a bottle of water. Fuck it, I'll talk.
For a free case review, call 833 MVP wins. Call me your MVP.
Leaving things half done, not a good look. Like a half-done hairdo.
All done.
Shouldn't the curls be on both sides? A half-baked peach cobbler.
A gummy crust? I don't think so.
Or a half of a domino.
Damn, big six.
But where's the other half? Don't go halfway, especially with your immunity to COVID-19. Stay up to date with your vaccines and boosters. Visit myturn.ca.gov to find one near you. Brought to you by the California Department of Public Health.
KBLA Talk 1580. We got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580. Connecting you with services and solutions. Stop the violence. Increase the Peace Foundation.
Absolutely.
It's a nonprofit
I think that's Danny's topic
organization
tonight.
dedicated to fostering peace while mitigating violence in our society. Established in 1993,
Absolutely.
Stop the Violence, Increase the Peace has provided a wide variety of assistance to thousands of youth, families, and victims of violence over the past 3 decades, including intervention services, conflict and dispute resolution training, grief counseling, and victims advocacy. In addition, the foundation offers an array of classes focused on anger management, domestic
5 and 20 seconds.
parenting,
Yes, sir.
substance abuse, and more. To make a donation,
$75.98.
services, call 323-445-8620. That's 323-445-8620. Or visit www.increasethepeacefoundation.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
More of the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams. Right now on KBLA Talk 1580.
There's too many of you crying. Brother, there's far too many of you dying. You know we've got to find to bring some love here today. Father, we don't need to escalate. See, war is not the answer, for only love can conquer.
the voice of reason, and his co-host is on complete fire tonight. Man, when a child is being raised in the presence of two petty parents, their spirit be singing this song. What is going on? These two people I love the most. Why are they bickering? Now, we had a caller on from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Khadijah, and she talked about the pain body. See, a lot of times we get into this mindset, I'm pouring into my child, I'm encouraging them to do what they want to do and blah, 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 and such and so and so. Yes, that's one way to pour into your child. But you can also pour into your child's pain body by exposing them to negative experiences, and then they carry this around. Let me give you the breakdown of what the pain body is according to Eckhart Tolle and his book, The Power of Now, A Guide to Spiritual Enlightenment. The pain body, which is the dark shadow cast by the ego, is actually afraid of the light of your consciousness. It is afraid of being found out. Its survival depends on your unconscious identification with it, as well as your unconscious fear of facing the pain that lives in you. But if you don't face it, if you don't bring the light of consciousness into your pain, you will be forced to relive it again and again and again. And this is what we do. When we get close to healing, we push back, because when you heal, you have to release what you have identified with this whole time. And if you release what you identify with, you think that's a type of death. An ego death, of course, for sure. But you have to go through that crucible in order to release yourself from the modeling you inherited from limited petty parents. Petty parents raise petty children. Argumentative, combative parents, they tend to raise the same thing. Now, how you transcend it, you have to renounce it. But you renounce it with love. You don't renounce it with criticism or judgment or condemnation. You don't do that. You renounce it in love. Mom, I know this is the best you could do at the time of your development. Where you were consciously, that was the best you could do. I love you for getting me to this point. Now it's my turn to take it to the next level. When we come forward, Zoe Williams is going to wrap up the show. Danny Morrison and Robin Ayers are coming up next, but I still got 5 more minutes to cook. That's what's going to happen.
The reasons that we're here, the reasons that we fear, our feelings won't disappear. You're listening to the voice of reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
Where can you start holiday shopping now for a season full of savings? Lowe's, actually. Find prices you loved, backed by the Lowe's Price Promise, like the 4-piece LG stainless steel kitchen suite was $4,267, now $2,986, for a total savings of $1,281. Check back daily for deals during Black Friday month and start saving now at Lowe's. Home to any possibility. Offer valid through 11/16. Terms and exclusions apply. See store for details. Learn more at Lowe's.com/price promise.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminding you that when we fight, we win. Community Coalition trains activists and organizers in order to support power building with Black, Brown, Indigenous, and people of color. Community Coalition works to help transform the social and economic conditions in South LA that foster addiction, crime, violence, and poverty by building a community institution that involves thousands in creating, influencing, and changing public policy. Founded by Karen Bass
class in 1990, Community Coalition was born as an African American and Latino organization with the goal of turning hopelessness and despair into action. The activism of the Community Coalition's members
Yogi
and
Fish,
community
what up,
residents
fam?
has almost solely stimulated economic recovery in South LA for decades.
What up, peoples?
Generating billions of dollars by redirecting them to South LA's
Live at 30.
foster care. In addition, Community Coalition offers amazing mind, body, soul resources, advocacy, and policy work, and has a robust and active membership body. To become a member,
I hope y'all enjoyed the show tonight.
Support for your nonprofit. Visit CocoSouthLA.org. That's CocoSouthLA.org.
Original.
Or call 323-750-9087.
I hope y'all enjoyed it, man.
This is a community call to
What up,
action
Jeff
from
Breezy?
KBLA Talk 1580.
You know you want some more. It's the Voice of Reason with Zoe Williams on KBLA Talk 1580.
The Voice of Reason and his co-host. My playlist. Unfortunately, you can't walk on by from your kids. Gosh. So many people, man, are so broken on the inside that walking away from the kids makes more sense than walking towards the darkness in their own heart, in their own souls. Listen, man, if you're dealing with or are a malicious parent, you might participate in behaviors like denying regular or uninterrupted visitation, denying phone access, denying the other parent access to participation in the child's school or extracurricular activities. You might be doing that. Lying to the child about the other parent, which involves accusations designed to sway the child against the other parent. Actually violating the law, such as refusing to obey a custody order, engaging in endless litigation to punish the other parent. That's how you know you're dealing with a malicious parent. But all you could do is stay steadfast. I'm telling you, I see children grow up and find out who did all of this. Do you understand? Kids grow up and become adults and go, you were the one who did that, mama or daddy. It wasn't right. I need to get back over here to my folk. This is wrong what you did. Man, you better heal your soul in front of your child so they can learn how to heal theirs. I started the conversation. It's on you to finish it. The Voice of Reason is always on fire, man. Monday was great. My brother Danny Morrison and Robin Ayers are on their way in. The fire shall continue. I'll holler at you tomorrow. Love y'all. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Hope y'all enjoyed the show. Your brother Zoe is Ghost.